Why does he look so crazed in this thumbnail? Oh my God. Why, dude? Why? Oh God, dude. Imagine still watching, like, enjoying and watching Mutahar in 2025. It's crazy. It's been a wild week. Yeah, I can see that.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mutahar.
This is the video he made after everyone pointed out the fact that he was actually not an engineer, and he's just been calling himself one.
Safe to say it's been a pretty wild week. You know, I was looking at YouTube apparently rolling out an AI to verify if we are actually under or over the age of 18. You know, when it comes to the internet, ladies and gentlemen, the past 7 days has really shown me that there's a lot that's changing. There's going to be a lot more showing your identification to access every part of the internet. That free, anonymous space that many people crave and love, that is slowly but surely dying out. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, I decided to look at YouTube here where they were...
Yeah, I don't care about this. Get to the point where you talk about being a fake engineer. Yeah, okay.
Information model determines you're under 18, you'll be notified. And if you believe it's incorrect, you have the option then to provide your ID, selfie, or a credit card. So yes, there is going to be age estimation coming, at least in the United States. And I can only imagine this will hit the entire world. Now, YouTube's pretty much engineered, I would say, in their mind, it seems a pretty foolproof way of isolating kiddies from adults. Now, I use the E word over there, and I want to just start talking a little bit. I know there's been some drama, and I want to kind of address things here really quickly. So, obviously...
Drama is when I lie about being an engineer.
I have been calling myself an engineer, in some cases a programmer, a cybersecurity engineer, whatever you can call it. And, you know, I apparently have also been a dropout, which I don't hide.
I'm sorry. When I heard this quote the first time, I lost my shit, and it's still just as funny the second time. What do you mean, I apparently have also been a dropout, which I don't hide? What do you mean, apparently? Did you not know that you were a dropout? You say you don't hide it. How can you apparently have also been a dropout?
You know, I apparently have also been a dropout, which I don't hide. Now, obviously, me being a dropout, I don't have a degree, so I'm not a certified or licensed engineer. Now, I made a lot of videos in the past where I've taught you guys about computer safety, cybersecurity, a lot of this stuff, and I think that content stands up on its own.
The crazy thing, too, is, like, you can just make this content without calling yourself an engineer. You can call yourself like a hobbyist, like a software hobbyist, and that would be accurate. No one would, I don't think people would shit on you for that. Maybe I'm just like biased because I wouldn't. If you call yourself like a hobbyist programmer. What?
And I believe it actually can be used, you know, and people have learned from it.
I mean, YouTube is filled with hobbyists. Best example, Veritasium? Is that the channel? There's like an evil V channel and there's a good one. Is it Veritasium? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. This channel, I honestly, genuinely don't give a fuck if this guy has a degree. If Veritasium has a degree. I actually don't care. Because you know what? He does his research well, and he brings on people who are qualified to talk about things, and he explains the concepts in a really excellent, in-depth way. He doesn't need to be Veritasium? Is that it? Okay, Veritasium. He doesn't need to have like a PhD in anything for me to be like, oh, that all checks out. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Vsauce is another one where like Vsauce, I don't really give a shit if Vsauce has a degree in anything. His videos are interesting and I learn new stuff every single time I watch them. Or when he used to make videos. I know he recently made one. Great. Vsauce, Michael here. So like, why do that? Why call yourself an engineer? It's so weird. Why?
And I think that's great. Now, if you feel offended, if you feel wronged,
This chat message. I hope Vsauce was my father. Posted without any elaboration. I don't even know what that could entail.
that I called myself an engineer while not being a degree holding engineer, then for that I do apologize. And I will denigrate.
The IT space doesn't care if you have qualifications as long as you're good at what you do. Well, I didn't go to school for engineering. I didn't go to school for computer science or software engineering or anything like that, okay? I went to school for accounting. So please, you guys are all welcome to correct me if I'm wrong. But from my understanding, there's a lot of good programming knowledge that you can get online. And you can be a good programmer even without having had extensive schooling. And I've seen it compared a lot to like art, where like going to an art school might help you build foundational skills, maybe more effectively, maybe faster than you would if you were self-taught. But you can still be a great artist if you're self-taught. And it's the same thing with, again, like software engineering or like programming, rather. I should say programming. Programming is a little bit more of a broader statement here, where as long as you learn the foundational skills correctly, you can program. And again, I'm only talking about anecdotally from the people that I've spoken to. So, you know, people can correct me if they feel like I'm mistaken here. There's lots of people that go to school for it and are bad programmers, and the piece of paper is just to show that you have a piece of paper. It's just to say, here, you can hire me. I have a piece of paper that says that I went to school for this. So like, one chatter says, I'm a lead software engineer and I don't have a degree. I mean, again, I feel like it's also one of those things where good programmers can just like look at your work and tell you if it's good or bad. And as long as you have appropriate experience working on things, your stuff will probably be better than if you had no experience, but maybe had the piece of paper. So like, degree is just let me skip the queue for some job applications, basically. I'm sure that like a good school will teach you a lot. But I feel like the programs, like if you program some software or whatever, I feel like the actual like what you programmed is more important than whether or not you had the piece of paper. Because if you made some garbage, some hot dog shit, but you have the piece of paper, who the fuck cares that you have a piece of paper? But if you made something amazing that works really well, that's super seamless, but you don't have the piece of paper, who cares that you don't have the piece of paper? I mean, jobs do, and employers do, but I'm talking about on the internet. I'm just talking about on the internet because as it relates to Mutahar calling himself an engineer. One chatter says, I'm a software engineer at a big tech company, and the main difference in my experience between someone with a degree and someone without is that someone with a degree might know the formal names for different techniques, but they both understand or know the underlying info. They just got the info in two different ways. Yeah, we're like, I'm loosely comparing it to like art, where you can go to school and learn the foundational principles correctly and learn all the names and the ideas correctly, or you can just like teach yourself by trying to force yourself to learn the foundational principles, because the internet just has so much information on this stuff. There's just like an overwhelming amount of information today to help teach yourself certain things. Okay, but anyways, let's
Do you feel offended if you feel wronged that I called myself an engineer while not being a degree holding engineer, then for that I do apologize. And I will denigrate myself to, you know, I guess programmer or a fat Indian guy that knows a bit about computers. That's what I'll leave it at. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Now, again, if you want to stick around, awesome. If you still feel wronged and this does not suffice for you, then I don't really give a fuck.
I think we all know that you don't give a fuck, man. I think we all know. I was able to tell that from the first time I watched a video of yours last year and the camera kept focusing in on your microphone instead of your face and you just uploaded that video as is. I think I felt like I got that pretty quickly, but simple
as that. Now, again, that being said, if anything else comes out of this, you know, whether there be some legal stuff, then I'll just let lawyers handle it and we'll call it at that. But that being said, I want to move forward, and that's pretty much the engineered response that I had to give. That being said, let's look even further.
Dude, he had that canned line ready. Oh, it's so cringe. It's good. God, he just like, I don't know how anyone watches this stuff. It's a fucking if this was a stream, I would treat it very differently, but it's a YouTube video and he fucked up the take and he just went along with it anyways. Let me see if I can pull up the transcript to show you guys what I caught, which probably most of you caught because it's fucking ginormous. 4:15. But that being said, I want to move forward, and that's pretty much the engineered response that I had to give. And being said, let's look, like, he ends his points with that being said, but he forgot that he had this, like, super dope canned line to say, that's my engineered response. Oh, okay, and then that being said, so cringe, dude. Oh, God.
Into what's going on the other side of the world. So the United Kingdom...
Yeah, quite frankly, yeah. The bigger issue about this isn't the degree part, but it's his videos are total bullshit and he acts like he knows what he's talking about, but anyone in the field can see that he's just lying and talking pure nonsense. His advice is often harmful and flat out wrong. He has little to no real experience, yet presents himself as the go-to professional that everyone quotes to reinforce their own bases. I mean, in general, anytime somebody starts flexing, if somebody asked him, do you have a degree? And then he said, yeah, I have one, or yeah, I don't. That's fine. Right? The problem is when you're constantly flexing something so that you can be trusted as an authority figure instead of just standing on business by having good code or whatever in this case, it kind of makes everything else look questionable, right? So a good example of this, Pirate Software. Instead of Pirate Software just defending his positions in the strongest way possible and saying, hey, it doesn't really matter whether or not I have been in this business or have been in this industry or not. This is my only concern with Stop Killing Games Initiative. I think that the Stop Killing Games Initiative is overall really good. My only concern is that how it might impact X, Y, and Z. And I don't have to even be a fucking developer to know that, or I don't have to work in the industry to know that. But instead, he has to be like, as a Blizzard employee, as an ex-Blizzard employee whose dad worked at Blizzard, I can tell you I am the authority figure and I am right. And it is all... everything you have seen about this is bad. And then he tries to explain it to you like he has to flex first. And then he builds his positions instead of just building the position, which is very bizarro. And then the weirdest thing is like flexing your fake degree as the appeal to authority is so insane, dude. It's like crazy. So, well, I didn't know that saying that I was an engineer signified to other people that I was like a licensed engineer. I wasn't aware about that. It's like, what? What do you mean? I apparently was a dropout. What do you mean? This is the video that people were recommending about the Mutahar thing.
Welcome, I'm Nikandros. If you've been following Some Ordinary Gamers or Mutahar's behavior the past year or so, you might have noticed that something is up. He quits Twitter suddenly, causing people to panic, and then rejoins Twitter quietly months later. He says he won't buy a Nintendo Switch 2, and then instantly buys one when it comes out. There was even that time he disavowed his longtime friend, Nikandros, but then he took the video down and apologized. Apparently he overreacted to a video criticizing him for watching lowly hentai with Nikandros, and not for anything else.
Wait, you showed
Yeah.
porn in those videos?
That's a video I'm still working on, and this video you're about to watch right now is a little appetizer I've cut out of its body of research, because it was getting too bloated as it is. Anyway, despite saying he would quit drama, not only did Mutahar return to drama, he decided to join forces with Ethan Klein to go after Hassan Piker. It's an odd choice because Ethan doesn't exactly have the highest opinion of Mutahar.
Do you have the part where Mutahar runs outside with a gun?
I don't, but
I'm like, dude, these people are insane. Boogie's not even the craziest one in that room still. There's a point where Mutahar goes, oh shit, is someone stealing my car? And he runs outside with a gun. And then he comes in 30 seconds later and goes, oh no, it's chill, it's just my brother.
The caption says he actually just walked into a corner of his room that wasn't visible on camera and cocked an airsoft pistol. No. No.
Oh my
Like,
God.
this pseudo badass weird fucking shtick he's doing is not it. And frankly, he's so mean-spirited and nasty, and he has this weird thing where he needs to act like cool and that he's so successful and rich. He tells Boogie, dude, why don't you upload more? I upload every day and YouTube's not even my job. I was like, shut the fuck up, bro. I think he thinks his real job is being a day trader. I might be wrong about that, but I mean, that's pretty funny. But like, yes, it is. Shut up, bro. I'm uploading every day. Ugh, I really got turned off by Mutahar in that one, man. Really did.
So Mutahar is a poser and he lies about having a job outside of YouTube. Those are pretty heavy accusations. But who has the time to watch through over a decade of videos and streams to check if he's telling a consistent story? I certainly don't, but I know a much faster way of achieving the same end result with only a few hours of effort. I can just search all of his video transcripts at once for certain keywords and timeline the claims he's made.
I play
Oh, no. No, dude. No.
video games and scratch my balls most days when I'm not working. I wake up, I scratch my balls, I do my job, and then I fucking play some video games. I wake up, scratch my balls, play some Mass Effect, make a video, and like do some of my stock work, and that's it. I wake up, I scratch
Bro, why are your balls so itchy?
my balls, and I play some Mass Effect, okay? I wake up every day, I do my job, I scratch my balls, I play around with Linux, some video
Bro, literally go see a doctor. Okay, you might have a fucking rash.
games, and that's my life, dude.
Before we get into it, isn't this stalking? Isn't this a violation of privacy? No. I am going by information Mutahar has made public through pieces of media he's voluntarily published on his YouTube channel, or public media appearances he has consented to. I'm also using information from a video that shows his LinkedIn page, which is something he seems to be cool with. He can do whatever he wants in his private life, but if he's claiming to be a doctor or an engineer to make his perspectives more valuable to an audience, validating the truthfulness of these claims about his life become a matter of public interest. If a history channel was receiving undisclosed funding from a foreign state, publishing that information would be in the public interest, even if that knowledge was gained through violations of privacy. Violating someone's privacy to humiliate them by exposing their porn browsing habits would not be in the public interest. But I haven't gone there, and I don't need to. I also completely disavow and denounce any kind of harassment or actual stalking behavior.
It's sad that people have to do this now because the soy right has become so fucking soy that going through someone's public videos that they made public and they made money off of on YouTube has some soy writers being like, you're literally stalking his YouTube videos by watching them.
Based on my findings, Mutahar has consistently claimed that YouTube isn't his job.
Hey, YouTube isn't my job. Thank God my job isn't YouTube. YouTube is not my job. YouTube is not...
Okay, let me just tell you guys really quickly. Even without seeing the source on this and whether or not this is true, this is total nonsense. This is total bullshit. 100% with the viewership that he gets on YouTube, YouTube is his job.
My job. YouTube is not my job.
YouTube is not my job.
YouTube is not my job. I use YouTube as a hobby. This is not a job for me, okay?
He works a regular 9 to 5.
Like, I work a regular job every day. I go to my office.
2025. Oh no.
I work, I come home, I cut together the video that I recorded the night, or 2 nights or whatever before, and I post that on the internet. It is a therapeutic, fun thing for me.
So what is that job? If you ask Mutahar's fans, they think he's a cybersecurity expert, an IT professional, a video editor. Ethan said day trader. There seems to be an awful lot of uncertainty about this definitely real job that Mutahar has. Mutahar's also insisted throughout his career that he is an engineer.
I'm an engineer.
I'm a fucking engineer. I'm a goddamn engineer. I'm an engineer.
I'm a fucking engineer. I'm an engineer.
I'm only an engineer. Oh, I'm an engineer.
I'm an engineer.
I'm just an engineer.
I'm an engineer.
I'm just a fucking engineer.
I'm a goddamn engineer. I'm a fucking engineer. I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer. As an engineer, being an engineer, I don't have to tell you as an engineer. I'm just a dumb engineer as an engineer. My engineer asked, but as an engineer, so I'm just a fucking dumb fucking engineer. Like I can tell her, like I'm an engineer, but I'm an engineer. As an engineer, I'm an engineer. As somebody that is an engineer, as an engineer. I'm saying I'm the number one engineer as an engineer. As an engineer. All right, as an engineer, I'm just an engineer. Speaking as somebody that is an engineer, I'm an engineer.
I'm an engineer.
But there's multiple types of engineers, so what kind of engineer is he?
I'm a fucking computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer. Dude, I'm a fucking computer engineer.
I'm a YouTuber. Why are you asking me?
And I'm just like a computer engineer by default.
Like I'm a fucking computer engineer.
Dude.
I'm an engineer.
I'm just going to tell you all really quickly. If you just look at his social blade.
No, I am an engineer.
He's pulling like on average 100,000 views a day on his YouTube. And I'm pretty sure the translation for YouTube, if your ads don't get demonetized because you don't cover sensitive issues and you get sponsors, I'm pretty sure like the ad rev alone is like, it's the ballpark. And this changes because ads change all the time on YouTube. And there's been like periods where ads have brought in very little money and then years where like ads brought in a lot of money. But the TLDR is that I think every 100,000 views is like $1,000 if your videos don't get demonetized. That's my understanding. So if you get a video that has like 1 million views, you get like 10K off that video. Every 100K is about $1,000. I think that's my understanding. Talking to other people who do YouTube, that's about my understanding. So he's making like at least $1,000 a day. Again, it totally depends on the content. Yeah, like I know Noah Samson has struggled with YouTube content and YouTube monetization, and that's why some YouTubers have to rely heavily on Patreon because they cover sensitive issues like genocide in Gaza or sexual assault or whatever it is. And because of that, you lose ads. Political content also gets a lot less of an ad rev because it gets marked off of certain types of ads. And this isn't even like taking into account like sponsorships and how much money people get paid off of sponsorships. So like I would guess that the money that he's making is closer to this higher end. Like a lot closer to this higher end. There is no person on the planet that would continue to work a 9-to-5 job if they were making like 500K a year on YouTube. That person doesn't exist. That person has never existed and will never exist. That's 0% chance.
Engineer. I'm a fucking computer engineer. You want to talk about cyber warfare? I'm a computer engineer by trade. I'm a computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer. No, I'm a computer engineer, okay? I'm a fucking computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer.
In the United States, people throw around the word engineer like candy, but in Canada, it's a bit more protected, especially in Ontario where Mutahar lives. Now, I do want to give the disclaimer that I'm not a lawyer or a Canadian. I'm just a guy who looks stuff up online, and based on what I've read, it's actually illegal to call yourself an engineer if you are not a licensed engineer. The Ontario Engineering Regulatory Body, Professional Engineers Ontario, claims to take offense to even titles like software engineer being used instead of software developer, but they do make an exception for terms like train engineer, broadcast engineer, or sound engineer, which are not professional engineers in the same way that a computer engineer or a civil engineer would be.
There's also no person who has enough time to record, edit, and post every day when they have a 9-to-5. Well, no, you can. You just have to like be okay with having no free time. And a lot of the people who started doing content while they worked 9-to-5 jobs. You just like literally come home, and I've known people who've done this. You come home from your 9-to-5 and then you just work until you go to sleep. Right? And his content, like, you reasonably could, but it makes no sense why you would. And this is only something that people do when they're starting up, not something that they continue to do. Like, his content doesn't require a lot of editing. It's just like him. He just puts a camera in front of his fucking face. Sorry, in front of his microphone. And then he just, like, doesn't even do any edits and then just, like, sends it out.
Calling yourself a computer engineer to a public audience is like saying that you're a civil engineer or a mechanical engineer. You might as well call yourself a doctor or a therapist. For Mutahar to be a licensed computer engineer, for him to be able to legally call himself a computer engineer or an engineer in general, he would need a 4-year degree, 4 years of training, and to pass the National Professional Practice exam. If he had just a degree, then he could only call himself a computer engineer graduate. This is where things become a little bit difficult, because Mutahar is apparently not just a computer engineer.
I'm a video engineer now. I think I know how this shit fucking works. Speaking out of an engineer, like, if I wasn't a computer science engineer, I wouldn't speak about Elon being an idiot. But as an engineer, yeah, I'm going to call him a fucking idiot because he does do idiotic statements. This is why, as a cybersecurity engineer,
a computer engineer is very much a real thing, but a video engineer or a broadcast engineer isn't a real professional engineer. While computer science graduates often work in software development, sometimes called software engineering, computer science isn't an engineering discipline. So computer science engineer doesn't really make sense. Cybersecurity engineer is once again using the word engineer as just a job title. Mutahar clearly wants the prestige of being perceived as an engineer, given that he's been calling himself an engineer for the past 10 years. And he uses this title to make himself more authoritative.
But I'm an engineer. I know how this stuff is going, so I'm not even speaking out of pocket right here, okay? If you want to disagree with me, feel free, but you're actually wrong. As somebody who is a computer...
Dude! Oh, I don't get why people do the appeals to authority. I don't understand it. I genuinely, like, I get it, as in I understand why people do it. I don't understand why they think it's a good strategy.
Engineer, somebody who understands computer code, for instance, hearing Elon talk about computers and anything code related is actually mind-bogglingly stupid.
It's not clear what kind of an engineer he is. So, what education does he have?
Like, it's a really good explanation of why, like, I picked engineering as, like, the road to go down when I was studying. I'm like...
So, he would have an engineering degree.
I went to university for computer sciences, and that's it. Education background, asking because a lot of CS knowledge. Yeah, well, I did computer engineering when I fucking went to college. That's what I did.
Okay, so at least a computer science degree.
I thought when I got into university for a while, and I dropped out like a semester in because I was like, okay, no.
Okay, maybe I'm mistaken about this, but I feel like the only time you should bring up your experiences with schooling, it shouldn't be as like an appeal to authority. It should be to say that your opinions on schooling. So like, I've talked about this. I've talked about how like public school, for example, total fucking joke. And this is coming from someone who did well in public school. I can tell you it's a joke because of my experience going through this and trying to do well. And doing well with very little effort, it's a joke. But I'm talking about my experience. I'm not telling anyone else that they're wrong or telling anyone else that I am the only authority figure to talk about this. I'm saying as someone who succeeded there, this specific thing, and not extending it to anything else, this specific thing is nonsense, right? Or whenever I talk about hating business bros, I say I hate business bros because I went to business school. So I've had to interact with them. It's not me saying, well, you don't know what you're talking about with regard to finance because I went to business school and you didn't. It's, dude, I fucking hate business bros. I had to fucking spend hours every day around these people. And if you spent hours around these people, you would also hate them. If he would use like schooling as a way to like talk about his experience with schooling, that would be fine. Yeah. But telling other people that they're wrong because you're right, because you went to school. Oh.
Oh, he dropped out after a semester.
Like I'm a dropout myself. I've never finished university, but I'm not going to dog on like school. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to learn to be
valuable.
Yeah, if you're going to be an engineer, if you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, if you're going to be in
Dropping out after one semester is kind of crazy work. I'm not going to lie. Like that is actually kind of crazy work. That is actually kind of crazy.
the STEM field, you need to go to university, okay?
You need to go to university to be an engineer, but Mutahar is a dropout. He has no degree.
Were you a computer science major? Yeah, that's what I went to for college for a little bit, dropped out of it, you know? I feel like there's a weird misconception. People think I'm like some fucking crazy degree holder. It's like, no. No, I would have been way more in fucking university debt if I went down that fucking route.
I sure wonder why people might have that impression.
Is it bad if you don't get a STEM degree? Look, I'm gonna sound biased as fuck, but STEM degrees all the way. I'm gonna sound biased because, you know, as an engineer, like, you know, you want to get the degree that's gonna get you a job, you know, a good job. Not saying other degrees can't, but like, you gotta be smart.
Sometimes he says he didn't always want to be an engineer.
My biggest thing was I didn't really want to be an engineer anyways. Growing up, I didn't really want to do anything. I actually wanted to do law. I didn't go through law. Honestly, I didn't even want to be an engineer.
I'm sorry, but it's so funny to say that you wanted to do law and you dropped out after one semester, which is like one semester was maybe like intro to comp sci. That's not even when the classes are hard. Like your first semester of classes, it's not even hard class. Those are like the easy classes. Imagine then saying like, well, I actually want to go to school for law. It's like, dude, you couldn't last that. Like, I don't know. Programs don't even really start till third year. I mean, my accounting classes didn't really start till third year. And isn't one semester just more like prerequisites? Yeah.
I grew up, like, I wanted to be a lawyer for the longest times.
Other times he says he's a former engineer.
So like being a former engineer, like I virtualize like everything, so I like contain shit. And
Even an ex-engineer.
The coolest ways possible. I'm like a fucking ex-engineer.
But here's the thing. He's been saying he used to be an engineer, or that he worked as an engineer for 10 years.
I wanted to share sort of my engineering background with you. Okay, I worked as a fucking engineer, all right, before I went into this shit. I think I know this. I also like to mess around with technology. I myself used to be an engineer before I went into the video editing route.
Mutahar started his channel in 2012, the same year he turned 18. By video editing route, he means that he switched careers after his channel began taking off.
And the interesting thing about
He's also not doing any video editing. Does it count as video editing if all you're doing is trimming the segments and then putting them next to each other? Like, does that even count as video? I don't even feel like that counts as video editing. I feel like my cat can do that. You're like, you can just find what, like any program, pick any single program for video editing. You can just Google how to trim clip. And then you just record those things, the segments that you want to record, and then you just put the video pieces on top of that, and then you just trim it. Like, that's like, you're just creating Movie Maker videos. Does that count as video edit? I don't even know if that counts as video editing.
about this whole YouTube stuff is it actually made me change my entire career choice. You know, I never really thought of myself as an individual who, I mean, I expressed talents
Video engineering.
and film production and everything, and, you know, I never really threw myself into it. I did stuff on the side even before YouTube as well. But this really changed me, and it made me more passionate in the whole, you know, video production side too. So now that is my field of choice. Now I work as a video editor. For those of you who don't know what I do outside of YouTube, I do that. I work as a video editor for my own post stuff.
All the programming, cybersecurity.
If he even made content like Mr. Beast videos where there's that like obnoxious, like the subtitles on the screen and there are like transitions and whatever, and then they like some text appears and some images appear, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's video editing. But it's also like, people don't do video editing because they love video editing. They do it because they want to express something and use that medium to express it. It's like saying that you really got invested in color pencil engineering and that's why you make art. It's like, no, you just like that tool. You just like doing art and that's your medium of choice. What? I'm an artistic engineer.
Security.
Chat, we are all engineers. I'm actually a chatting engineer, okay? My goal is to engineer the best chat messages in any chat, ensuring at least one streamer reads my chat message that day.
Penetration testing work he talks about early on are jobs he supposedly did before he did YouTube, and he didn't like doing it.
Before this, I was a depressed individual, and I was going to go through a certain set path in my career and just go through that and move on, right? And there was a point where I really didn't think there was much else. I was going to go through the motions and everything. And then, you know, to cut down on the stress, and I still have stress issues nowadays, but, you know, back then I had a crazy amount of depression and stress issues. And so to counteract that, I decided, you know, why not do YouTube? And so, you know, one night I went onto the Google Create account and did it, and, you know, and then we started making videos. I told you guys, I'm a guy who used to code bank applications, really boring shit. Now I'm a dude who cuts stuff together. All right, who edits stuff, you know, who does stuff for film, TV, all that stuff. And I can't stress to you,
Film, TV,
you all how important that is to me. And you all have inspired me to go out and chase that dream. You all inspire me to fucking sit in front of my computer and make a video when I have some off time, and I fucking love doing it.
Baby Mutahar liked to edit videos, and after starting YouTube, he switched careers from computer engineering to film and television, and this is where his actual education comes in.
I worked in film and TV before I still don't have a fancy fucking degree, okay? And there you go, I filmed it, alright? I used my film degree to something.
He calls it a film degree, but it's actually a 2-year broadcasting/videography diploma he got from Humber College between 2013 and 2015. If he went back to studying to get an actual engineering degree, he never mentioned anything about it. Not a single slip. Mutahar was never a real engineer, but he's been calling himself one for a decade because of tech jobs he supposedly had before 2013 or 2012.
Because I never tell people like what I do. Like I never tell people anything, right? Like I don't even tell people I'm not an engineer. I haven't been one for like years, like fucking for eons at this point, right? Like in internet time.
What he calls him being an engineer is something he did for only a little bit.
I can imagine, like, for families, like, I mean, just an Indian family alone, it's like, son, you've got 3 choices for what you're doing, all right? You got 3 character classes, doctor, engineer, or maybe a lawyer, all right? Like, that's it. So, you know, I did one of them for a little bit, and then I just pretty much stuck to, you know, this life now.
Imagine if you worked as a mechanic.
Having seen his response to this video is really funny because you know he watched. Well, honestly, given how lazy he is, he probably watched like 2 minutes and was like, I can't watch this. I'm a video watching engineer and I watched almost all of it. I watched 1 semester worth of it.
In high school, and 10 years after quitting that job, you're still introducing yourself as a mechanical engineer. From 2015 to 2020, he claimed to primarily work as a video editor.
That's because I'm a fucking editor in real life anyways, so. Ever since I became a video editor, and that was my job in life, I work as a video editor. You know, that's my job. By trade, what I do for a living is video editing.
I wasn't always a fucking video editor. Am I a fucking passionate video editor? Do I like my job? Yes, I do. My job is video editing. I'm a video editor by trade. No, I'm video editor. You know, that's how I pay for the strip club and the home.
And initially called himself a video engineer.
I'm a video engineer now. I think I'm
below my standards, so I can't watch it.
know how this shit fucking works.
It's not a real engineering job, but he was still calling himself an engineer. In 2019, he conflated being a video engineer with being a computer engineer.
I'm a computer engineer, so I really a video engineer, whatever you want to call it. I'm one of those people, so...
Again, totally different.
Why do you think he's so resistant to call himself a YouTuber / Creative Clash to impress parents?
Qualifications. One is an actual professional engineer, the other is a job title. In 2020, Mutahar claimed to be an exceptionally successful day trader.
Now, for those of you who don't know, one of my side hobbies turned basic, general second profession of mine is day trading, swing trading, whatever you want to call it. I like to sit in the mornings, sip my coffee, go on the NASDAQ, see what I can look pre-market, buy.
Guy who definitely doesn't do his own trading. I go on the NASDAQ. I really read those papers and look through the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ just scratches ball sack. Shut the fuck up.
Sell and be done by, 11 or something? And call it a day.
Be done by 11, 100%. What he's saying is he just wakes up and plays some video games.
Gentlemen, it's something that I've been doing for almost a year, give a couple months, and it's definitely a very it's a fun part of my lifestyle. I'm a very mathy guy. I do a lot of calculations in my head. I lose money, but I generally have an 80-85% success rate, and that's just the nature of this stuff.
In 2021, he claimed his job was trading.
This is 0% chance. 0. The chances are negative, people.
And investing.
My job right now, I just sit around and trade and invest. That's what my job is.
But he was still an engineer or a computer engineer. Apparently his dad calls him an engineer who knows computers.
I'm sitting in the room, it's like, when it comes to computers, do you talk about it with my son? Do you act like an intelligent person? Because my son's a fucking engineer, okay? If I'm wrong about computers, I'm gonna believe what my son says because he's the fucking engineer, not a doctor. Like, fucking insane, dude.
But he also just sits at home and invests money.
I invest, that's my job now. I just sort of sit home and invest money.
Now, if I was ashamed of only being a YouTuber, that is the job I'd be claiming to have. When asked by guests on his podcast about his computer work, he claimed it's only a hobby now.
I don't know how much you want to delve into this, but do you do computer stuff on the side, or that's your main thing?
I literally just invest money. Like, I buy property and I invest, and that's all I do now.
You're at that point now, you're that big of a baller, Buddha?
I wouldn't say it's like baller, it's just like
Do you do programming? I don't know why that took me 3 different ways to ask that.
I do it, it's more of a hobbyist thing now for me personally. I'm trying to, work around with consoles at this point, reverse engineer shit that I have.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So, that's what I'm into now. It's just it all is...
Nervously scratch his arm. Yeah, I still do a little ha ha ha. I'm a reverse engineer, actually.
Become a hobbyist thing for me at this point. For me, I look at it, it's like woodworking and shit. Like those woodworking channels, I'm like, this is just me sitting down for 2 hours, killing time and working on a long form project, but not something that I would ever care to ever be bothering doing again, even as a career path. It's just too stressful. Sure. It's boring, well, compared to anything that we do now,
In 2023, he's calling himself an engineer a lot, just like before. But in March, he claims he just invests money again.
Were you into business before doing YouTube? No. After, I worked, and then it's pretty much my job. I worked, and then now I have enough money to, buy property and invest, and that's pretty much what I do.
In August, he gave the impression he still worked as an engineer.
All right, as an engineer, if I show up to my office and I fuck up, okay, I don't have a job anymore.
But then he also mentions working at his own company that does asset management and property development.
At our
company, like not YouTube, but outside YouTube, like when it comes to our main work property and everything, like our like asset management, property development, stuff like that.
So before YouTube, Mutahar did the computer, programming, cybersecurity work he thinks entitles him to call himself an engineer. Between 2013 and 2015, he's studying his videography diploma. From 2015 to 2020, he's a video editor, and from 2021 onwards, he's a day trader, investor, and eventually the CEO of his own company that does asset management and property development. He's also calling himself an engineer the whole time. We already know he's not an actual engineer. But is he actually a business owner? Because there's some weird inconsistencies.
By business owner, does he mean that he's just like a landlord?
In the things he says about it as well.
As a boss, and I don't know, like, this is gonna sound like kind of cold, but I don't make jokes at the office. I don't make any fucking jokes at an office.
Because you don't make jokes at all.
I am not this kind of Mutahar, okay? So to explain what kind of person I am, like at the office, I'm just like, how's work? What are we doing? What's the plan for today? Like literally, it's as matter of frank as I can be. I don't partake in jokes. I don't do any of that fucking shit. And if I see fucked up jokes, you know, which I haven't seen, I stop that shit right there. I always have to.
Well, he's not a joke engineer.
Like, you always have to be professional at your office. And sometimes you come across as like a deadpan motherfucker, but it's better to be deadpan than, you know, turn your office into like what I mean is like I never would have my office turn into like frat house workplace. Like it would never be a frat house.
He would never allow his office to turn into a frat house. But 8 months later,
to be fair, like there is a betting pool in amongst like my office friends because we do talk about like which gig streamers dying first.
Yeah, and
isn't that pretty fratty? Isn't that a fucked up joke?
And if I see fucked up jokes, you know, which I haven't seen, I stop that shit right there.
Maybe he just sucks at maintaining a professional culture. Could it be possible that Mutahar has been faking having a job all along? Doing daily uploads while being a CEO 9 to 5 is a pretty busy schedule, as Ethan said. When he was on the Unsubscribed podcast, Mutahar made sure to let everyone know he works 9 to 5 and that he's a very serious businessman.
Legitimately still have a 9 to 5.
Yeah, I have a 9 to 5.
Dude, he works in hours and hours. That's what, like, this is why I respect it. How many subs do you have on YouTube?
I think like 3.4 or 5 million or something. I don't know. I don't know the exact amount.
3.5, like 3.5 million. We'll say that. And you're still doing multiple 9 to 5s where you're running different businesses.
He's working multiple 9 to 5s.
You were talking about Q4
I'm the CEO of our own company. Like I'm the CEO of like our own group. We do a lot of like property and like asset investment around where we live. We're getting into construction and everything too. So it's like for us, like our job is my job is a 9 to 5 every day.
You upload how many videos a week?
A day. Like I upload it every day.
Jesus. This is why exactly, and why I always.
He really loves bathing in that praise, but it's not enough. He needs to flex more.
Well, that's like the algorithm tell, right? Like when you're like an engineer, somebody's like, "Man, why does the algorithm keep feeding me?" I'm like, "Bro, what's the last 10 things you watched? Gay porn? It's probably going to give you the 11 videos." I'm just saying.
Driving there, we were talking about cybersecurity because that's what you went to school for. You're like, homeboy's very smart. That was you do actually business, and then YouTube is a
YouTube is always like the secondary side gig. It's
Then he brags about his charitable donations, and we see behind the curtain how uninformed Mutahar actually
Dude, this video is a murder. How is this allowed on YouTube, dude? What the fuck?
is.
Like for me, it's like the receipts. If I could tabulate them up every year, you know, like like during COVID, I probably gave away $200,000 of charity, and it was like out of my personal accounts. I don't write any of this off for taxes because I don't believe in writing off.
Why are you lying? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. That's so fucking stupid. 100% he has an accountant that does this, so I don't know why he's talking about it as if he does it himself. Man doesn't do anything but scratch his balls and play video games poorly, okay? Second of all, it's not a write-off. Like, for him to, he's talking about it the way that people who don't know anything about taxes talk about taxes. I will describe it very, very, very quickly, very easily. Let's say this is just, none of these numbers are based in reality. Okay, this is just to describe taxes and how taxes work. Let's say you make 300K this year, right? And just for simplicity, let's say you get taxed at, let's just say you get taxed at 10% rate. Okay? Let's say you donate $100,000 to charity. All right? So you made 200K. So that means you would have to pay, on this money, you would have to pay 30K. Yeah, 30K in taxes, right? The way he's talking about is like, yeah, I pay that extra 10K that I don't need to pay. This would be the extra 10K that I don't need to pay just because, you know, I don't believe in that. That makes no fucking sense. That literally makes no fucking sense at all. Why would you pay money to the government that you didn't hold on to? Anytime you, and also when you describe your income, you have to say how much you gave to charity. If you're filing your own taxes, which he's pretending like he is, when you're like filing it on TurboTax or whatever, it asks you how much of your money did you donate to charity? Unless he's suggesting that he's lying about it, that he's lying about paying that money to charity. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Also, the IRS would just refund you? Yeah. So that doesn't, maybe Canada works differently. From my understanding, not that much. CRA, not IRS. Sure, I'm describing it in American tax policy. From my understanding, Canada is exactly the same on this principle. You would say, hey, I donated, they would say, there's like a section that says how much money did you give to like 501c3s, I think is the abbreviation or the specific category. And you say, I donated 100,000. And they're like, oh, okay, you don't have to pay us this 10K that you would normally have to pay us since you didn't actually keep that money. You just have to give us the 20K here for the money that you did pocket. Since you gave it to a legitimate charity, you don't have to. It's not like he's talking about it as if there's some secret hack for writing off your taxes. But there is no secret hack for writing off your taxes. You just say, hey, I donated this much money. And they're like, you don't have to pay us taxes on that money because you didn't keep it. That's it. That's it. It's very simple. It's really not more difficult than that.
Off charity for tax, I think it's a pretty shitty thing to do.
Writing off charitable donations is a shitty thing to do. How? Why? All that means is that the money you donated is tax exempt. It means you can donate more money to charity, as Brandon Herrera says.
It's a pretty shitty thing to do. Well, for me, it's like
the more money you can write off, the more money you can keep from the government and spend it better, you know, putting it toward more.
No, it's so that if the government sees charities that are registered as charities as a worthwhile expenditure, that they don't want to disincentivize charity. I mean, this is like a very idealistic way of looking at the IRS, and realistically, this is not how the IRS actually operates. But the idea is, well, we don't want to take 10K away from you if you're already interested in donating it. You can just donate the full 100K.
Charity.
The money that I
How can you be the CEO of a company, a serious businessman who knows his shit, but you don't understand basic accounting?
You want to talk about social battery, like 7 is when I get up. I got to be in meetings every fucking day. My work day doesn't end until like 4 p.m. That's when I get like a chance to open up the Premiere Pro project file for the video, and I get to work on that, and then I get to upload that a day later. Like, I don't believe in days off. Like, I literally can't believe in a day off. Like, I'm always like,
oh, fuck off, dude. Grow up. Oh my God. Oh my God. I will tell you, the laziest motherfuckers say that. The people who work the least are the people who say that shit, who believe, I don't even believe in a day off. No. That is like the most scammer thing someone can ever tell you.
because I'm like, I want to do work. Like, I really do like enjoy doing work. Like, any day that I don't feel like I do my job, fucking cry about it. I'm like, this fucking sucks.
He works till 4 p.m. every day and cannot take a day off. However, he seemed pretty happy to take a day off to watch a video game commercial from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on a Thursday.
I love to read comment sections in videos. That is probably the best part of doing YouTube content creation, is reading the comment sections of what a video has to offer. You know, as a content creator, the coolest thing is like when you see like 1,000 comments on a video, because I'm somebody that likes lurking internet forums and just reading internet discourse, right? Especially when it comes to topics I enjoy. So when you read 1,000 comments, you're like, all right, shit, let me line up and get ready, boys. Let me read that shit all day.
This guy has a wife, he's a CEO, he works 9 to 5, and he uploads daily. How do you have the time to read YouTube comments from random people? Check this out.
You should be an upstanding, good citizen, okay? I wake up, I do my job, I come home.
Many of the instances where Mutahar says YouTube isn't his job are from videos where he rants about how unstable YouTube is as a job because of their never-ending policy changes. These things supposedly don't impact him. He does YouTube to relax. But
you know what, dude? Maybe when he was talking about being an engineer, he was talking about being like a bullshit engineer. Because this guy can really peddle bullshit.
he's always obviously upset in these videos. He consistently paints himself as a hard worker.
It sounds like you worked really hard.
No, he's not a social engineer because he can't seem to make enough people like him. He's just a bullshit engineer.
School. We're talking about taking night classes, doing community service, like side jobs on the side, like.
Yeah, no, it's blurred. I'll help you understand.
He has this insane work ethic, but he's also curious about how Destiny can get so many things done.
I noticed that you do like a lot of canvassing, like you actually go out of your way. You've launched your own like podcast with like other people, The Bridges, and it's like, what is next really? Like, how do you kind of manage all that too? That's the other big thing that I kind of wanted to come into, because it's like, it really feels like you're a one-man show, but you're doing like a lot of shit and you're managing it pretty well.
Destiny's too lazy to cook for himself. He's not the workaholic with an excessively tight schedule he can never pull back. If Mutahar's stories about himself are true, he should not be impressed by Destiny at all. Mutahar also often claims that he's an immigrant and equates that to him being poor or his family being poor. He will say his father had to go through medical school twice, not recognizing the privilege of being able to go through it even once. You don't need to come up with all these hardships you've been through. Everyone can already see your life is a struggle. You're not white, and you still can't say the N-word. He's got this other larp about not buying anything expensive.
Very rarely am I trying to pay full price for any of this computer crap. You don't need to, all right? I don't overspend my money on crazy computer chairs. I think whatever I can get at Costco fits me fine enough. As far as my peripherals go, I have some SteelSeries headsets, keyboards, and a Logitech mouse, which I think is really awesome. If anything, I overspend on my monitors.
He's so frugal, but he also owns a luxury diving watch worth almost 10 grand. If you have an easy life because you were born to a rich family, just enjoy it. If you're rich, just enjoy being rich. Improve your production value. Get some acoustic treatment. Get some monitor arms. Show your audience that if you work hard and succeed in life, you can have nice things. Why not? So, was Ethan Klein right all along?
I upload every day and YouTube's not even my job. I was like, shut the fuck up, bro. But like, yes it is. Shut up, bro.
I'm not going to claim that Mutahar has absolutely no jobs beyond YouTube, even though the things he says about his business are very vague and inconsistent. However, he has definitely been lying about being an engineer for a decade, benefiting from the prestige, the authority, and the credibility that comes with that label. You don't call yourself an engineer dozens of times without specifying you're talking about programming jobs you did 10 years ago. He's clearly mostly just a self-taught tech enthusiast, not an engineer. He's seen as a cybersecurity expert or as a cybersecurity engineer, as he called himself.
This is why, as a cybersecurity engineer...
But when he assisted Nuxtaku in tracking down the V-Shoujo swatter, he fell for a basic social engineering trick, where the swatter, who was a minor, pretended to be one of Nux's fans who knew the swatter in real life, and fed them a bunch of bogus information.
I appreciate the random fan who was in that Discord server that actually contacted me and reached out to me about this stuff. Oh my god, you guys are legends, honestly.
V-Shoujo's cybersecurity expert knew this was bullshit. The cybersecurity engineer did not. Mutahar doesn't do drama.
There's no way that guy sounds like that. Oh, he does. Oh, he does. Oh, he does. Oh, he does. I mean, it's the guy who made that song. Don't play the song.
Content anymore because it's all needless negativity, and YouTube isn't his job. However, he still weighed in on the pirate software drama after videos about it began going mega viral. What insight is Mutahar, the computer engineer who knows all of this shit, going to weigh in with?
No. Right now, as a video editor, I do more engineering now, so back-end programming for effects work. I'm working on a new codec for video right now for H.265, so we can actually transmit better video quality at higher resolutions. I'm actually doing something which I want to sell to Microsoft at some point later on. So I've been designing AI toolset that basically you can inject, hopefully, into like video tools, and this is gonna be like video games or whatever, right? So it's like, let's say that Microsoft backwards compatibility, right? So I had this tool idea. This is kind of what I got going in my head. So I had this idea, and I hope to one day sell it to Microsoft, right? So what I do is, since I have a really good video background, right? I've been designing neural stuff around.
This guy is a video engineer. This guy is a video engineer. This is what video editing looks like, guys. This is what, every time he says right, and it's the arrow pointing right. I don't care. I'm making you guys listen to that again.
AI toolset that basically you can inject, hopefully, into like video tools, and this is gonna be like video games or whatever, right? So it's like, let's say that Microsoft backwards compatibility, right? So I had this tool idea. This is kind of what I got going in my head. So I had this idea, and I hope to one day sell it to Microsoft, right? So what I do is, since I have a really good video background, right? I've been designing neural stuff around it. So what I want to do one day is, you know how Microsoft has backwards compatibility, right? So would it be really fun if I could design a way that Microsoft could take the textures in their video games, right? So they could take the textures mapped in their video games and find a way to AI up.
Okay, I get that, like, all Denims haters are really dumb and you guys can't help yourself, but this isn't the guy that's suing me, you fucking moron. Not the guy suing me. Try again. Use one more brain cell this time. Maybe someone in chat can lend you one, just so you can get a good insult in for once, dude.
Grade them. So like basically use a fucking photo AI, like basically use an artificial intelligence that can scan across, you know, all these textures and just fucking upscale them to like 4K, 8K, whatever they want to go to, and make games look better without needing, you know, developers to make it better, right? That could be an idea for me. It sounds simple on paper. Obviously, it's very, very, very fucking time consuming to make it even as effective as you want.
He knows how to program video encode.
Oh my. Is he talking about DLSS? That's a thing that already exists.
He knows graphics APIs and AI tools in 2019. What does he know in 2025? What can he add?
One of the code bases that we're looking at over here is this falling particle. Now, there's a lot of numbers that are being dropped in here, and one of the things that you'll tend to see in Pirate Software's code is magic number abuse.
Nothing unique, nothing new, nothing that Coding Jesus didn't say in his video, which Mutahar keeps mentioning.
There's nothing wrong with having shit code, right? There's nothing wrong with being bad at it. I'm not a fucking great coder either.
I'm actually doing something which I want to sell to Microsoft at some point later on.
but I'm also not claiming to be this crazy fucking guru hacker expert in the world.
Yeah, for the past 10 years, you've been claiming to be an engineer, a computer engineer, a computer...
This video is amazing, dude. Oh my god. Dude. Oh god. Oh god. All right. Can I just say, dude, what is wrong with Hassan haters? And why do Hassan haters kind of all sound like Hassan, like anti-piker? Like, why do all of the Hassan haters do this meme? 0 days without thinking about Hassan's cock, and then here's this chatter. W backstabber, take Hassan's dick out of your throat. Literally, no one has mentioned Hassan. Hassan hasn't been brought up. Hassan is not in this video. He's not in this title. You're just the only person here thinking about his cock for some fucking crazy reason. Like, please, seek help. Go to therapy. There are ways to solve your obsession, your problem, man. Okay? We're trying to make fun of some other guy. All right? All right.
Science engineer, a cybersecurity engineer. You fuck with code.
Dude, I'm a fucking computer engineer.
I'm a YouTuber. Why are you asking me?
You do programming as a hobby, but when it comes to showing your knowledge, you only know the basics. Now you're here judging.
The arm scratching. You're only relevant because of a terrorist. Okay, huge props. You used the correct your, which is uncommon for, you know, haters of your skill set, let's say. No, I'm only relevant because I'm really good at rage baiting. And that's why I get chatters like you in here, because I'm really good at rage baiting. Get rage baited, idiot.
Someone for inflating their credentials. At least Pirate Software's lies didn't break the law. At least he actually worked at Blizzard for 7 years.
Again, I mean, I said it day in and day out, but the only reason people don't like Pirate Software is because he comes off smug. That's it. I'm actually a rage bait engineer. People don't even, it's not even that like Pirate Software was necessarily saying things that were incorrect or that he was saying things that were like offensive. It was just that he was being a smug douchebag and a smug asshole about it. That's it. Like, everyone's going to be wrong sometimes. It's fine. Like, accidentally being wrong, mistakenly being wrong, that's fine. Versus, like, Mutahar being like, I'm an engineer. I work a 9-to-5 job. I work multiple 9-to-5 jobs at the same time. And I'm an engineer. Did I mention that I'm an engineer? But, like, Pirate Software, he mistakenly thought that he did not play a part in the wipe, and then he like quadruple, quintuple, sextuple down. But it was the doubling down that was the problem. Everybody makes mistakes and everybody misremembers things always.
You have an ego. You gotta be able to match it with the skill. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that skill is all the way there. Unless that skill is making a whole lot of spaghetti code. Ladies and
guys, I rage baited this chatter so hard. He doesn't want to doctor anymore, so now he's trying to make fun of other chatters. Why are people like you so easy to rage bait? Why? Oh, Jesus Christ.
And gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like if you dislike.
Fine and Andy, thank you for the gift up to an engineer.
Like it, I am out.
Man, what a great way to end a video. Let's check out some of those comments. We love reading the comments from regular commenters like Mr. Obvious. I wonder what he's into.
Mr. Obvious says, my feel win, I might as well be all for. And then we see some lolly here featuring some underage characters. Here's 2 more drawings of underage characters posted by Mr. Obvious. Kinda strange, isn't it? Mr. Obvious says boys heart emoji. And then underneath that, we can see a photo of an underage girl who is pulling anal beads out of her anus using her feet. That's quite the talent.
Oh.
Let me line up and get ready, boys. Let me read that shit all day.
So.
I feel like I spent half a second not paying attention, and then I got like crazy whiplash off of God knows what.
That was my appetizer for my upcoming video. Given his inconsistent stories, Mutahar is either lying about his job and business, or he tells really pathetic made-up stories about them to sound more interesting. Once again, I am not a lawyer. It might not be illegal for Mutahar to lie about being an engineer, but by any reasonable definition, he is a total fraud. He has no computer engineering degree, or even a computer science degree, but he still presents himself as an engineer, a computer engineer, or a computer science engineer. He is not trained in this field, and he is not employed at these roles. He is a self-taught hobbyist, a dilettante, not an engineer. Despite admitting that he hasn't been an engineer in years, not that he ever was, he continues to introduce himself as one, letting his audience's imagination run wild and conclude him to be far more qualified than he actually is. It does not matter that he seldom admits to being a former engineer or that he hasn't been an engineer in years. The bigger picture that he's painting to his audience is that he is a licensed, actively practicing engineer, which, based on his own statements, isn't true and cannot be true.
Max is the thinnest skinned bitch that I've ever seen when it comes to taking action.
Unless he's saying he's a licensed engineer, it's not unethical. Sorry, it's not illegal, it's unethical though. Well, I think that the purpose of a law like that, if I was trying to interpret the spirit of the law there, it would be so that you're not selling services with that title without actually having earned that title, right? It's not necessarily that he's selling the services. This would be like a tough case to sell, right? Because I think he would just argue the same sort of argument that like Fox News argued, where, well, we're just an entertainment channel. We don't actually provide news. It'd be the same thing there. He would just say something like, oh, you know, I make slop on YouTube. I am a slop tuber. The evidence that I have is that these people call me a slop tuber. I don't actually do this, so it's okay that I say that. Which I think would probably work fine. I think the concern is more people who are trying to sell actual services for engineering, not for entertainment value, because he easily could argue that his YouTube channel exists for entertainment value. And then if you're trying to actually sell, yeah, like I said, actual engineering services with the title, but you don't actually have the title, you know, it wouldn't go anywhere, I don't think. It is unethical, though. It is unethical, though, for sure. I am a slop tuber and this is my art. If it wouldn't be a case without a wrong party, right? I mean, no, not necessarily. There's lots of instances where there doesn't need to be a wronged party for you to still face consequences or whatever. So anyways, continue.
Criticism on the platform. There is a way back from the mistakes that he's made. It just involves being a man and taking actual criticism to account and realizing that, yes, your entire career was a lie. Maybe it's time to turn that around, but he doesn't really want to be doing that. He wants a win when he can't even carve one out.
Mutahar has been telling this lie for 10 years. This lie is almost too old for his friend Nakstaku to masturbate.
Oh god, oh no, Mousy, what, you recognize these numbers?
What do the numbers mean, Mousy? What do they mean?
What do they mean?
Click on it. Tell us.
Oh. I've never even pondered the thought that we could have lolly and guro and bondage all in one thing. That's amazing.
Oh my god.
On the topic of recklessly allowing the audience's
I hated that.
imagination to
Please
run
no
wild,
more of those, please.
what do you think about this clip?
Oh, what? Bro.
I don't even know what that was.
That was some kid just sent you a video of them shitting and then shooting a dog with a Nerf gun.
It's a funny coincidence that the last time I reminded Mutahar about his own country's laws, it was about him watching cartoon child porn with Nakstaku, not realizing that in Canada, it fits under the legal definition of child porn.
Wait, you showed porn in those videos?
He tried to ignore it for months. But then Hassan Piker drew attention to my video. Mutahar panicked and he threw Naxtaku under the bus while obfuscating his own culpability. The hit piece didn't land, so they settled everything in private and still lie about what happened. Why did Mutahar make a 40-minute hit piece where he condemns someone over and over again? No reason. It was just a goof. And oopsie, he's not hiding anything. There was nothing incredibly immoral and disgusting that he was aware of and tolerated for years. Something he would condemn any other person for. But in this case, he swept it all away. They also were not the only ones who knew about it and stayed quiet. The truth will soon be revealed. Remember to subscribe to see it when it drops. Next time, things are gonna be a little bit different.
What?
One more thing.
At least where I live, in the
what?
Okay, I don't want to like dox myself through this.
As just a public service announcement.
I don't want to dox myself through this.
No, you shouldn't make it a habit of mentioning how far a certain location is from your house.
I actually called up a EB Games near my place, probably like minutes away.
Because of captions. Searches, every instance you've done it over the years can be found in seconds, giving potentially dangerous people the ability to triangulate the location of your house. Mutahar's fortunately only done it literally once, right after moving into his current house.
Now, of course, just to add further context, this house is like minutes away from the...
Now, I'm sure Mutahar's lying about the travel time estimate here, but just don't say anything like this. It sets a really bad example to other creators. You also shouldn't show a picture of yourself somewhere and forget to censor or...
Cybersecurity is my passion. It's my passion, dude. Oh
the names
my
of the
God.
stores, even when they are at an angle. I am not an IT guy, but I know how to do this.
Oi, you have to pay for that, young man. I'm a fucking computer engineer. I don't care.
Not the adult ADHD scale. No. By the way, you've been exhibiting some of the most obvious signs of undiagnosed ADHD I've ever seen. I know you've claimed you don't have it in October of 2024, but I have reason to believe that wasn't something confirmed by a doctor, and I'm very certain you don't know what it is. Trust me, I'm an ADHD engineer. There's a very simple and quick form you can fill out to prove me wrong. It's called the ASRS V1, I think is what it said. Yeah, ASRS V1.1, Adult ADHD Self-Report Scale Symptom Checklist. How often do you have trouble wrapping up the final details of a project once the challenging parts have been done? Never, rarely, sometimes, often, very often. Well, they're an engineer. I can trust them. I can trust them. Oh my God. True ADHD sign, starting this and not finishing it. Oh. I think the only thing that keeps my ADHD in check is the pure satisfaction and extreme pleasure I get from completing a task, and the fact that it's like my OCD, anxiety, and my ADHD kind of all mixed together to form like the perfect streaming creature. Because I get so much pleasure out of keeping things organized and building a good schedule, which helps a lot when you have ADHD. That I feel this compulsion to do these things fixes that part. I wish my OCD was schedule based. I think like To be fair, my OCD has always been pretty minor, or like it's been very it used to be worse, and a lot of the bad symptoms have gotten better over time. But I still kept like the strong compulsions to keep things organized and neat and clean, both in my brain and also physically, which is really dope. Did therapy help? Therapy only really helped with anxiety. Only with anxiety. Oh, I've gotten an anxiety diagnosis. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about yawning. I've gotten my anxiety diagnosed. I've gotten my ADHD diagnosed. I've never had my OCD diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure the thing in your brain that causes you to compulsively remove objects over and over and over again because you have to place them just right. Pretty sure that's OCD. I remember like growing up with OCD, with like a shit ton of OCD symptoms, and being like, what do you mean other people don't do this? What do you mean by that? Or like if I picked something up off of a shelf, like let's say it's sitting like this, I'd pick it up, I'd look at it or whatever, and then I'd put it back down. I'd be like, I'd like walk away from it, and then I'd come back and be like, well, I didn't put it away correctly. It actually goes like this. And I'd walk away, and then I'd come back, and then I'd be like, oh, it was actually more like this. And then I'd walk away, and I'd come back. No. It was definitely like this. And then I would do that like another 7 times, and I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. That's it. Doesn't matter. You're not. That's it. You've adjusted enough times. That's a good. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Or like the brain illness that's like just makes up random magical thinking. Where looking back on certain things that I would do as a kid, I'm like, that was probably OCD. I would rewrite my notes when I would get home from school because my normal handwriting, or like my note-taking handwriting in class, was really messy. So I'd go home and rewrite them. And when I would rewrite them, I wasn't allowed to use whiteout. But I also wanted all my notes to look really pretty. So I'd rewrite them really slowly in like gel pens, pencils, and pens. And if I fucked up, I would have to rip the page out and start over again. And I would do this many, many times. Because in my head, I was like, well, if it's not perfect, I'm going to fail my next exam. Like if I use any whiteout ever when rewriting notes, the next exam I have I'm gonna fail it. Which is like, looking back on that, it's like, oh, is that OCD? Is that OCD? You mean that's not normal? You mean that's not what other people do? Oh, are you sure? Are you sure? What's wrong with whiteout? Nothing. I just didn't like how it looked visually. Did you realize that was probably helping you study? That was, yeah. That's just studying though. Yeah, but I didn't do it to study. I did it because I wanted to do it. Not because I wanted to study. I hated study. I never actively chose to study. I used to watch him regularly. I stopped after he bitched about the Switch 2 for such a long time and then bought it right away. Even when he was standing in line to get one, never knew about all this other stuff. Holy Lord. Yeah, I think that the Switch 2 one was really pathetic. And he's like, I actually bought it for journalistic purposes. And so I played the games and they were good. So my journalism has kicked in. It's actually really good. And you should play it if you want to. Play the games if you want to. It's like, huh? It sounds like you just bought it because you wanted to buy it. Oh. But yeah, I think weirdly got lucky / unlucky where I haven't needed a whole lot of extra help, therapy or psychiatry wise, because all of my brain problems coalesce to create this like weirdly functional but anxious creature. My anxiety makes sure that like I usually get things done on time. Then my OCD makes sure that I can create the systems to get things done. And then my ADHD keeps me interested. Functional neuroticism, yeah. Gosh, dude. Anon, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Oh, Jesus. Sounds like something a lion engineer would say. No, that's not true. I would never. Listen, as someone who's an engineer, I would never lie about being an engineer. I'm actually a gift sub engineer. I'm actually the perfect streamer for telling people to gift subs. You can tell because I have the qualifications to match it. The qualifications, you say? Qualifications. Evidence. It's certified. So I am a certified engineer. Which means legally you have to sub to this channel. Or else I'm going to tell the other engineers in the engineer group chat to get you. Which we're all in one. We're all in one, and I can tell you for a fact, they will come and get you. It's true. Sorry, I dropped out of gifting sub school after the first semester. Is Marat in the group chat? I mean, of course. Of course. You know the really fucked up thing? We're now finally getting the Mutahar, the Mutahar farm from the people who were down.
Mutahar has just...
Stop. From the people who were down to be his friend, they're now all clouding on him as well. He's done. Dude, even his boy Tectone went after him. Even his boy Tectone said, he's done. Let me see if I can find it. He took a break from his usual scheduled Hassan hatership, as you can see, to say, Mutahar got caught again. Damn, dude. Damn. It's a brutal lifestyle, dude. It's hard, dude. It's hard.